I just try to be that person that never regrets anything and tries to see what I actually have. Because I think that people that get lost in, oh, I have to do this, or I was like, everybody's expecting this from me, so that's why I'm doing this. You're never gonna be good at it because you're not doing it for yourself.
Could you teach someone that?
To be
Because you weren't always like that. Do you think you could
uh,
teach someone to enjoy hard work and be the best at what they and give it their most every single day and to enjoy that?
I think like my theory around this is that I gave up on everything because I had no self-esteem. I was just very fragile. Like I would try sports and then a girl would say one comment to me and I would quit because I was so afraid that that she would comment again something about me. So I
So
was
like if
just,
I was playing basketball, if some guy said to me, "Hey, you don't have the right body for basketball," I would quit.
yeah, that's exactly how I was. And I would
Yeah.
never do anything unless I was with somebody because that was my security. So like my best friends would have had to do something, some sports for me to be able to do it, or else I wouldn't do it. So that's why I was more into music at that time. I loved to just sit on the piano and just play because that was like my zone and nobody was around me. But sports was like, you got especially when you're in a fragile age of like, you got comments of, oh my gosh, why does Sarah always turn so red in her face? Like you were different. And that would be like, oh my God, I never want people to see me as different as what I should be. So I'm not gonna do it. So like that's the reason why I didn't do anything. And then when I start in like this boot camp seminar and there was a coach there that saw something in me that I never expected anybody else to see or didn't even know about myself, is what, you're very determined. And I was like, no, I'm actually not. I'm up. And he, oh, you're not. You were able to do this. And he like actually made me think like, oh, I actually did this and the other girls didn't do it, which made me different.
What was his name?
His name was Gunnar.
Goodnosh.
Yeah, I called him Gunnar.
And
Yeah.
he said something to you that's what we call in my family stuck.
Yeah,
When someone
it's
says
stuck.
something to you that's stuck, they believed in you and it's stuck.
Yeah, like you have, like my rule in life now is just like, if I have a compliment for anybody, I compliment them like as soon as I can, because that one compliment changed my life, because I never thought that anybody saw anything in me. Like I had just accepted that I was born in this world with zero talents and I was just supposed to float with the crew.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's so far. Yeah. So just getting this one comment and seeing actually, oh, there's something different with me. I wanna get a compliment again. So we're running today, and I'm not gonna show him that I'm tired. Like I just made up these games in my head, and from there I started seeing results. And from seeing results, I started to get addicted to hard work. And like it's so insane how self-esteem plays the biggest role in everything you do.
There's a post you made that I really, really like. I think it's your most recent post. And I'm wondering if you could tell me what inspired this. It says, "If you see me less, it's because I'm doing more."
Oh, this isn't actually a post from me. This is a photographer that tagged me in that post, and I read that caption, and I was like, "She's speaking from my heart." Or, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, that's
You
exactly
you
what I
haven't
do.
done a podcast since the last time you were on this podcast.
I've been in the dark now. Or what do you call it? Is it in the dark when
Training
you're
in
not
the dark.
training in the dark and like not not too active on social media? I've just been tunnel vision of training and just getting back into it.
This is a super relevant topic for me because I'm preparing a top 100 list coming into the season. And I have, there's a lot of athletes out there that do the off season. And so they're visible and you see what they're doing and you can make these data points. They're doing well or not, they're getting stronger or
Yeah.
not. But there's a whole
Yes.
nother group of athletes that choose to do nothing in the off season. We haven't seen them since semifinals and no one
Yeah.
really knows what they've been doing and what we're going to see from them 12 months later.
Yeah, this is the exciting part also.
What happens when you have to stop doing CrossFit, and this thing that you've built your self-esteem on is no longer there? Do you um, are you like an alchemist, or do you know how to switch it to something else?
Yeah, I'm already there. Like, I mean, I have so many hobbies and so many things I want to learn. Such a long list. So like I started studying private pilots after last year's qualifier this year. So I mean, I've always wanted to be like in some way connected to the airplane world, and I just took the decision this year of just like I might as well try to be a pilot. We either go all in or we don't, right?
Because she never wants to stop traveling all over the world.
No, I never want to traveling. I love it. And it's also just such an interesting world of like, yeah, being like just this thought around that there's an airplane that flies. It's insane, right?
It is insane.
Yeah, that somebody just found the perfect drag thrust lift ratio for an airplane. And like I've just always found this very fascinating. And there's just also, I don't know, I think it's very I mean, CrossFit has been a big part of like making strong females, or like normalizing the strong female image. And I think that in the pilot world it's also getting better there, of like females are allowed to be pilots now. Like before it would be like a very weird thing if a female was flying your plane, and like maybe some old school people would be like, I don't trust a female to fly this plane. Like, and this is something that needs to be changed, and it's already changing. And I think that's one of the fascinating things about it, is like it's a challenge of being a female in this world, the flight world.
When but I hear you on the flight thing, but I'm thinking more like, can you transcend self-esteem?
I think that you have to build two different type of self-esteems, and that one self-esteem is your athletic self-esteem, and that's I don't have the same self-esteem when I'm out with the girls and in a dress or something. I have a way different self-esteem then compared to when I'm in my CrossFit gear and going on to the floor and there's heavy DT. Like that's two different Sarahs. And I think that if you don't forget your like self-esteem one, let's call it that, I think it will transfer into everything else. That's like the base self-esteem that you have, and you have to be sure that you're actually working on it every day, like you do with your athletic identity. So I think like, of course you can get more self-esteem from achieving a lot of things, but you shouldn't define yourself of what you've achieved. And like it's I read this quote, I think it was just 3 days ago. I'm trying to remember exactly how it was, but it was like, what is your identity without any of your achievements? Like when you're completely like your CV is just completely naked. Like who are you? Who are you without your achievements? And that's the identity one, as I call it, is like, who am I without anything that I've accomplished, and without me going to school and be good at something and getting my self-esteem from being one of those type of people.
Yeah, that's the
and
question.
I think that's
right. That's the question.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So I think that if you work on that, of like your core values and stuff, I think that's easier to transfer after your athletic career.
I guess that is what it. You just explained it to me. You explained it perfectly there. I never even thought like that. The two types of self-esteem is sort of the superficial one, and I don't say that in a negative way, but it's I have this podcast, and Brian's a coach and a sports analyst, and you're a professional athlete who loves being on the floor performing, and then there's the other one is your values, and you can get a shitload of self-esteem by really having high values, a ton.
Yeah.
By staying true to your values.
Yeah, exactly. And
yet at the same time, they're nothing. They're nothing compared to going out on the stage and lifting 300 pounds over your head.
Yeah, but they are so strong. Like,
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna remember that the rest of my life. I wish I had like a rubber band or a hammer to hit myself. This is a huge breakthrough for me. I love
Yeah.
this. Yes.
You're welcome, Sevan. You're welcome.
Because my whole life I've always wondered about values and morals, and how when people had values and morals, I'm like, I don't think I have any of those. But lately in the last few years, I've noticed I'm like cultivating them because I have kids, right?
Yeah. And your values can change, like, can
Right.
change throughout the years and what you're doing and everything like that. But I think that your core values are always the same. It's like, depends on what kind of personality you are. Like, I'm an empath just since I was little. Like, I loved helping people, and I always thought I would end up as a nurse or something, because I get so much out of knowing that I've helped somebody. So while a different personality can get so much out of just making somebody laugh or something like that, like, so like your values are, they can change, and but I think the core values are always the same.
God, what a
But
great
it's hard
thing.
to find. Yeah.
I'm gonna teach my kids this.
Yeah.
You know what part of that is like